listen, we have been at work all week. We've had to endure 90 minutes of Arsenal v Port Vale. We've got to Friday. We've got 48 hours to do whatever the fuck we want with no work. And it means as well, we get to kick it off with the call-in show. And you can see I am joined by my absolute geezer, the fucking Doc in the building, driving to go get himself some How are we doing, brother? What are you saying to me, man? Come on.
Fucking walk on, brethren. Yo, man, it's always so proper to see you, and always a blessing to be up here, man. So big up. I'm just parking right now. Hopefully gonna down some beers. I'm gonna fucking chow down on some tacos and some quesadillas right now, and hopefully just go face deep in between a pair of cheeks. So wagwan and big up and bless up,
Yeah,
Quattro.
man. Here he is. No euphemisms at all whatsoever used there. No tacos. No, I'm sure you're eating just genuine tacos. No euphemisms there at all whatsoever. ... Come on, the boy. Look at our Doc, man, looking like $1,000,000. He's an absolute geezer, isn't he? Come on, man. Come on, geezer. And as well, we are joined by our geezer Quaja, man. How you doing, my bro? You're on mute, I think, mate. El Muto. Oh, there you go. Well, I can't hear you. Something's gone on. Maybe come out and come back in because you're definitely muted. I can't hear you, my geezer. That's it. Either way, we'll have a little chat and we'll have a little start about what's going on with Arsenal. And we're going to start it off with this. A very pivotal weekend, no? Chat, very pivotal weekend. How are you all doing, man? Let me know. Come on. World-class chat. Let me know how you're doing. Chat. Come on. World-class chat as always. It's a very pivotal weekend and I'll explain why and I'll get your thoughts on it, Doc. We have got Newcastle and Arsenal on Sunday. But before that, my friend, we have got Crystal Palace and Liverpool. Now, do you know what? Crystal Palace tend to do not too bad when they play Liverpool, to be fair. But Liverpool, even though they haven't been playing too great, they've still been managing to get over that line. Like teams do, like great teams do, like championship winning teams do. As they are the champions. They just know how to do it. They are not out of second or third gear just yet. And they've definitely got it in their locker to get up to gear 4 or 5 and maybe even 6 at some stage in the season. They're still picking up them 3 points and I probably expect them to pick up 3 points. If they do, and Arsenal are left with some significant pressure on their hands on Sunday, because we could see ourselves going into that game 8 points behind if they win. I mean, it's as simple as that. We will have to do the business just to remain 5 points behind, but we could start Sunday morning, waking up, getting ready to Newcastle, 8 points behind Liverpool. Now, we have been horrendous against Liverpool in the last 3 fixtures. If you include the Carabao Cup away, we haven't even scored a goal. I think we've only registered 3 shots on target in said 3 fixtures. We have to not only best that, or well, it's probably hard to not fucking better that. I mean, it's been so poor. It probably is easy to do a little bit better, but we've got to get 3 points. We haven't been able to even muster up a decent attempt in 270 minutes of football. We're in a little bit of trouble, aren't we? And what I'm saying is this is a pivotal weekend because if Liverpool do mess up, as they sometimes do against Crystal Palace, we've got a chance to capitalise and close that gap on a very difficult weekend. But if we don't, and we find ourselves 7 or 8 points behind Liverpool, is the league done? And I'm going to throw that straight away to the Doc. 7 or 8 points behind come the weekend. Is it done? Is it game over?
Well, first and foremost, big up to you. Big up to the chat. Smash the fucking likes. Hit subscribe. Don't be a plank or don't be a Spud fan. All right. So look to that end. You know, if we were talking about a manager that had a spine, that had the stones, if we had a squad that also had the mentality as well to get over the line, then we would be saying that, you know, a 5 to 8 point margin is something that could be overcome, especially this early in the season. However, we know what time it is with this manager. Yeah. This manager's a halfwit. This has been straight up amateur hour for the last 5.5 going on 6 years. So for the fact, I mean, so for the fact that, again, it's regardless of what I think. The fact that people like Paul Merson, the fact that people like in the media are talking about, or rather, even the fact that there are now disavowed Arteta sexuals, like on their own channels talking about, well, Newcastle is a must-win game. So certainly to that end, they are talking, rather they are basically saying, without saying it, that the season is over if we don't win, because otherwise they wouldn't be calling it a
Yeah.
must-win game, right? But so ultimately, I don't think we're gonna win. As Kawaja had mentioned, the last time we had one at St. James was over 2 years ago, and there's nothing, and there's very, very little that we can take away from the matches that we have seen this season that would suggest that our attack is going to scare defenses away
Yeah.
from home. I think the only real attacking performance that we've seen was against Leeds, and that was at home.
And against a promoted team, innit?
And against
It does take it away, yeah.
precisely so, right? So I think to that end, it would be foolish to think, just based off of the results that we've had, that somehow, oh, the handbrake is just going to come off. No, that's not the case. Simply because this manager has not been, he has not intentionally gelled players into the squad. He has, if anything, he's only been sabotaging the players in the squad by rather not feeding Gyökeres is just going to be as dull of an attack as 29 up front. And unfortunately he's doing all of this to sabotage Gyökeres, so that when 29,
Yeah.
our favorite pack mule with 4 right hooves on 280K a week is going to waltz back into the first team. So I mean, so it's all by design, but we also know, and I'm end on this. This is just like any authoritarian regime that we've seen in the world. And some people are acting as if this is like our first dictatorship here, right? Like, as
Mm.
as we know, like when regimes are at their final stage, like when they know that the walls are closing in, they get more erratic, they get more dangerous and violent in their behavior, and they ultimately, at the end of the day, they cease to exist. So we've been saying it since day dot. If Arteta wants to prove us wrong, win a fucking trophy. Pardon my French, but
Yeah.
win a trophy. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, and do you know what? And this is the frustrating thing. He's had the time and he's definitely had the backing. Sometimes you've just got to look in that bastard of a mirror and go, do you know what? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just you, Mikel Arteta. These are the words that Paul Merson said, and this is why I sort of titled some of it about a pivotal weekend. And it is a must win. This is what Paul's saying, yeah? We're 5 points behind, and it's basically what I said. And he's saying, so this weekend is a must win game at Newcastle. It's a joke. And what he's saying there is it's an absolute joke that already at the end of September, 6 weeks after the league has only just started, Arsenal find themselves in a must win game. And that must win game is away at Newcastle, where they've fashionably been horrendous. And he's saying if Liverpool win at Crystal Palace on Saturday, by the time Arsenal play on Sunday, they are 8 points behind. If they lose, the Premier League title race for Paul and for me, and I think for everyone on this panel, is over. Absolutely over. And this is what I love about Paul when he's saying this. People get caught out on this all the time, thinking, don't worry, there's 32 games left. How many times, people, do we see and hear top gooners going, well, there's only 6 games in. There's still 32 games left. This and that, and blah, blah, blah. And then he says this. If I said to you at the start of the season, there's 38 games, but Liverpool are going to start with 8 points ahead and a head start, it doesn't matter if you're the most loyal Arsenal fan in the world. You cannot see them winning the league. And that's an absolute fair fucking point. And he says, I get fed up with this. There's still 30 odd games. You've got to get the points on the board. And if Arsenal do draw or lose and Liverpool again keep this maximum 100% record going and end up with 18 points and Arsenal still have 10 or 11, we're fucked. And I'll put that down to Quaja. It is a must win. This is why this weekend's so pivotal, because we could, in theory, Quaja, if Liverpool do drop points, however that may be, whether it be a draw with Palace, whether it be a loss, that would be great, and Arsenal do manage to get a win away at Newcastle, maybe the script could flip somewhat. maybe the momentum that Liverpool's gained slowly starts to sort of fizzle out. Maybe a win at Newcastle away could be a season-ish changing sort of win. One of them wins that spur you on. Getting a win away at a ground where you've done horrendous at for the last 3 or 4 attempts. What do you reckon on that, Quaja, man? What do you reckon on the weekend? How pivotal do you think? And do you reckon it's absolutely done and dusted if we're 7 or 8 points behind come 8 o'clock Sunday?
It depends on what this Lego Heads manager's lineup is. Because if you look at the lineup against City, he put 3 fridges in midfield. I wouldn't be surprised if he does that again, because he's going to do it again. He's going to put Marino, Zubimendi, Rice as the 3 fridges in midfield. He keeps doing it because I think Eddie Howe's at home looking at how to beat Arteta, because he knows how to beat Arteta. He did it last season. So, and if you look at the private chat, I mentioned the scores the last 2 seasons. Newcastle 1, Arsenal 0. Newcastle 1, Arsenal 0. We've scored 0 goals in the last 2 seasons. And it shows you why we struggled to win at Newcastle. But apparently the top gooners are coming out saying it's early. Well, we've been saying this last season as well. And apparently we've had injuries. That's why we're struggling. So if you can use that as an excuse. So, but first of all, big up to everyone. But this game's... I've said it's going to be a draw. I just have a strange feeling that we might just stink a draw. That's the reality. Or we might lose 2-0 because I know Newcastle know how to beat us. If that midfield man, that midfield man's going to absolutely take the piss out of us, our midfield. Their midfields are better than ours. Let's be real with it. I mean, Zubimendi. Can someone explain to me? Do you guys think Zubimendi's an upgrade on Partey?
No chance.
Not at all.
I've looked at Zubimendi against Tonali in the preseason. He got bullied by Tonali. What if Bruno G comes up and bullies Zubimendi? What's going to happen?
He will.
We're finished.
He will.
Yeah, he will. And that's a strange feeling. I'm dreaming the fact that Declan Rice and Zubimendi are going to get dog walked by Tonali and Bruno G. And let's not forget, Joe Linton will be there as well. Joe Linton will be up there as well. And let's not forget, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose that game because we have a poor record. And it says right there that our last win at St. James's Park was in 2022-23 season. And since then, we can't even score. I think Eddie Howe knows how to beat Arteta. I just feel as though the fact that, imagine if Eddie Howe puts out a low block, and we all know that Arteta can't break down a low block. That's the reality. Yeah. And if he
out-Tetas Arteta, doesn't he?
He outclasses him. I'm just feeling as though the fact that he's going to put 3 fridges in midfield, and he'll drop Eze,
3 fridges,
and he'll put Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right, and Gyökeres up top with no creativity, and he's going to do that. And no one's going to call him out. They're saying, oh, you're overreacting. Oh, it's the start of the season. Newcastle are tough. Look where Newcastle are on the table. You're supposed to go out there and put on a performance. They've not been great this season. Let's be real with it. Liverpool have already gone to St. James's Park and won. So surely we have to be out there as favourites to go out there and win. But I don't think we are favourites. We might as well just stink a draw because Arteta just loves the defence. Well, let's be real. What happened against City, we will do that the same thing against Newcastle. Again, at open play, we'll be punished. I think Gyökeres is going to ghost again. I just feel as though the fact that he's going to get no service again and it's going to be the same old shit every single year, 6 years in, and nothing's going to change, mate. We're just going to stink it out, mate. Let's be real. I'll just sleep. That's it.
Yeah. No, do you know what, Quaja, mate? Spitting absolute facts there, mate. I agree with basically everything you said, man. Absolutely. Spot on, man. We've got a debutant as well, DG2, always in the chat, man. Big up to you, brother. Big up, man. Hope you're all good, and thank you for coming on, putting the face out there, and I'm looking forward to your opinion, man. How you doing? All right? All cool? What do you reckon on the weekend? Pivotal?
Thanks for having me on, and big up to the panel and the chat. Yeah, we have to win. It's a must-win game now. We have to win. The midfield is the most of. If you look at any team, most of creativity comes from the midfield. So it's really important he gets the midfield right. He has to get that right because like if he starts with the 3 defensive players again, we ain't winning. We'll either draw or we will lose. We'll just lose the game. You know what I mean? Because it's tough enough going up there And Newcastle at home is a tough fixture, for us. But if we get that midfield balance right, I think we can win there. We can get a result. But for me personally, I want to see. I know it never happened, but for me, I'd play Rice, Lewis Skelly, and Eze. Yeah,
Facts.
that midfield is good enough. Honestly, then you can pull whoever you want.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, Gyökeres is still adapting to the team. You can see he's not like used to the way the team plays, and putting 3 defensive midfielders is not helping him at all. It's not helping him at all. I'm hoping Arteta does something different, because for the last the previous guy. Sorry, I forgot his name. So for the last 2 years, we've been doing the same stuff. Too defensive, too cautious. It's not got us the wins. It's not got us the results. Now, change it up. Be ambitious. Be a bit courageous. You know what I mean? Show some positiveness. You know what I mean? You got the squad. You got the squad. Go out there and now, really trust your squad. Trust your defense. We've got one of the best defense in the league. Yeah, we know that. Trust your defense. Trust your midfield to do their job. And then, I think if with that midfield, and then I would play like Saka on the left, Ether on the right, and Gyökeres up front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And another thing, Arteta needs to, he needs to talk to these players. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Does he talk to them? Does he even talk about the history of Arsenal? Does he talk about the type of players that walk through that door? He needs to talk to especially the striker. Now, we've only got one striker. He needs to be motivated for this game. He needs to be up for it. This is a type of games like you see back in the days. You see like Thierry Henry. These guys, Bergkamp, Perez, they'd be up for this sort of game. You know what I mean? They'd be there like, we want to win this.
Yeah.
We're the best. We're better than you. That's the mentality we need to have. And I don't know if these players get that from Arteta. That's my only problem.
Do you know why, mate? Do you know why that is? Is because in any Arsenal, you don't even have to be an Arsenal historian to be able to explain the most recent success at Arsenal Football Club, the proper success, which is, of course, the 2004, 98 to 2004.
Yep.
Really, that was a fantastic winning team. We had Manchester United clashes. We were, at one stage, for me, probably the best team in the world, but sadly didn't have I'm getting feedback off someone's mic. Sadly, one of the best teams in the world. We just didn't win that Champions League. So Mikel Arteta, yes, like any Arsenal fan, is equipped to talk about Arsenal history. However, Mikel Arteta is not equipped as a manager to talk about, like you quite rightly said, them players walking through the door and saying, these are the best players in the world. Do you know why? Because he was an also player. He's a no-one player for Arsenal.
Yeah,
he was a nothing player. So you got a manager.
Yeah, that's true.
What kind of authority and respect as a footballer now would you have of Mikel Arteta saying what it means to win titles for Arsenal Football Club? Because, mate, you weren't even getting in the under-21 squad in 2004 as a 28-year-old, let alone even on the bench or even on the reserves or even a thought from Arsene Wenger in 2004. You weren't even anywhere near it, son. So I'd look at that. If Mikel Arteta was telling me the history of Arsenal and what it means to play at the top level for Arsenal, I'd be like, well, you didn't play at the top level either, mate. You were a panic buy from Everton, my old China, because Fabregas fucked off. Like, so he ain't got that authority instantaneously, and I think you make a valid good point there. He actually as well doesn't know what it means to win for Arsenal Football Club and the history of Arsenal Football Club. He won a couple of FA Cups, he captained it, but look at what he's like as a captain. Why do you think Odegaard is a captain? Because it's an absolute carbon copy of himself, isn't it? Weak,
it's just
poster boy,
captain.
PR machine. Just that's all he is.
And a bitch.
Just the geezer you want at the front of the thing, signing the kids at programs. That's what he is. He's just that geezer, a little bitch. When something's going wrong,
exactly, man. Totally agree.
And Mikel Arteta was my captain, whether it be Sunday League, whether it be Premier League. If Odegaard or Mikel Arteta come up to me with something, I say, piss off, go away, fuck off. If Declan Rice come over to me and I'll go, all right, fair dude. You'd have that. If Gabriel come up to me and go, what the fuck are you doing? I'll go, yes, sorry, big G. Yeah, I'll sort it out. Because you go, I respect him. He's totally authoritative. He's a captain. He's a leader. Yeah, I wouldn't even have done that in the first place under his command. I'd have run through walls for the gears. And Mikel Arteta and Odegaard, you ain't doing that with them. They're weak. They're pathetic. And that's why we've got that little underbelly of not being able to get over the line, because it's so pretty being in this lovely little nest of second place Champions League football. Oh, we got a quarter final. Oh, we got a semi-final. But proper leaders, winners, gritty bastards, ugly motherfuckers that know how to get the job done. Ray Parlers, the Edus even, believe it or not. The Gilberto Silvas, the Vieiras, they're the ones that win you titles. The Tony Adamses, the ones that are willing to put their head in the challenge where they're going to get a boot in the nut rather than going, oh, I won't be able to do this magazine thing tomorrow if I have a little cut on my nut. Full of bitches, isn't it? Gianni, bruv, what we saying? Is this a pivotal weekend? Are we going to find out where Arsenal Football Club's Premier League season's going to be come the evening of Sunday? Are we going to know whether we're going to be maybe back into the title race if Liverpool slip up and we beat Newcastle? Or are we going to know that it's done and dusted for another year in September?
I mean, unless there's magical link-up play that all of a sudden starts at Newcastle, I think the season's already over, to be quite honest with you. On the Bruised Banana last night, I said I got Newcastle winning 3-1. Because you can't, and this is all based off of him running back the midfield again. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Declan Rice, Zubamendi, and Marino are going to match up against Joelinton, Tonali, and Guimaraes. They're going to slap the shit out of them idiots. And the other thing that nobody's talking about as well is the weakness of Zubamendi has already been exposed. His back towards the midfield trying to accept the ball, he is so slow at turning to try to get the play started. Wissa, from what my understanding is still hurt. So that means Gordon's going to be playing false 9 on top of him the entire game. So if Anthony Gordon's on top of Zubamendi the entire time, how many turnovers you think Zubamendi might give up in our own half within 35 yards of the goal? So, and if that's the case, I don't care if you're playing false 9 or not. With that midfield, you got a shot of running in 3 goals against us, number one. Number two, I think we should be changing the formation at this point. I'd rather us play a 4-2-3-1 or even go a little Carlo Ancelotti and go 4-4-2 diamond midfield and force the number 10 to be closer towards the box and to force one of our other players closer to the net. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think Saka should be playing a secondary striker role from now on because his legs don't look like he has the breakaway speed anymore off his first touch. That looks like that's been gone. So at this point, if you're not going to have Gyökeres learning link up the way he should be playing so that he could get given goals and everything else to attack the box, put Saka as the secondary striker and tell him, start shooting as much as you want. Gyökeres, be in the box for rebounds. If the goalie doesn't save it, be in the box and bury the fucking ball in the back of the net. Because at the rate that we're going right now, our forwards still don't know if the ball's round or square trying to fucking get Gyökeres into the game. And it's ridiculous that this guy's the highest scorer in Europe over the last 2 years, and we don't know how to play with a striker anymore. I said this on Shane's channel last night. What I am most interested about this is the midfield, because if he starts Marino as the striker this game, this is going to lead to Mikel Arteta pulling a throwback and doing the same thing with Gyökeres as what he did with Aubameyang. I guarantee you if Marino's the striker, Havertz will rock up when he's done as the false 9, and Gyökeres will get pushed out to the left wing, the same fucking thing that he did with Aubameyang. It's written in the stars that this is already happening because the guy just doesn't want to give up on the fact that this whole major defensive pragmatic ideology is not fucking working, and it's not going to work. I mean, I'm sorry. Manchester City's defense has been dog shit for 18 months, and we couldn't figure out a way to put a team together to go attack them. I mean, the fact that we had everyone's talking about, oh, Pep Guardiola never played like that before. Well, I'm sorry. The dominant performance. Did you forget Real Madrid slapped the fuck out of Bayern Munich 5-0 in the Champions League when he was the coach? Does everybody forget when Barcelona slapped the shit out of him when they got him? This isn't a one-off, and you're not the greatest thing since sliced bread. So at the end of the day, for me, I think the season has already been decided that it's Liverpool's to lose at the end of the day. Yeah. And if we continue to go, let's say, for instance, because here's the other thing I don't get. They're talking about rushing Odegaard back. This pussy fucked his shoulder up, and you want him to be running up against Tonali, Joelinton, and fucking Bruno Guimaraes fresh off the injury? You don't play him. You don't play him. Simple as that.
On the bench.
Listen, Martin Odegaard should be in the same position as Calafiori. They should be left out. Fuck the both of them. Neither one of them should be playing for fucking Arsenal. So,
should go back to Moldova. We should go back to Norway and score them goals.
Brother, they could go to Antarctica for all I care. Just get the fuck off the team. At the end of the fucking day, the problem is that we are trying to fit square pegs in round holes, and we are creating our own fucking problem. There is no reason at this weekend. There is no reason that even if you want to play Saka on the right, put Saka on the right, put Eze on the left, put Wanyeri in as the number 10, and drop Rice and Zubamendi just to protect the back line and say, have at it. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Go forward. Let the restraints off. It doesn't matter who we get on this team. It doesn't matter who we get or who we're listed to. Because now people have been messaging me, Arsenal got in contact with Yildiz from Juventus. Guess what? The same thing will fucking happen to him. Like every other jagoff that's come to this fucking club is he'll be amazing for 10 games. And once Arteta has sucked his teeth into him and said, you're playing this way, it will no longer happen. The left wing is the perfect example. Anybody who wants to argue this anymore, all you got to do is point to the left wing. Every single one of our left wingers is not a left winger. Eze's a 10. Trossard is a secondary striker or a 10.
Martinelli's a striker.
Martinelli is a striker. Go figure. When he lined up in the middle, he got the fucking goal. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure this shit out.
Mate, you can go back to Birmingham. He played there.
Figure that out either.
Yeah.
Might as well just put Saka on the left. Saka
Have we actually had a left winger ever under Mikel Arteta? Have we actually ever had a left winger?
That's a left winger.
Yes, Emil Smith-Rowe. Emil Smith-Rowe was the last sort of close to a left winger that we had. Because Smith-Rowe is actually decent out on the wing. But he is more of a 10. But he is more of a 10. But he's the last person that fits the closest thing to a left wing profile that we've had at this team. If that doesn't
play him. Yeah. Sorry, played him there out of necessity as well, to be fair.
But he actually played well. He actually really played well.
Yeah.
And again, when we go back to that, it goes back to he's a bottle job. That was the year that we had third place in the bag, fucked off the last 7 games, and fell back to 5th. So again, any which way you want to cut it, Arteta has no idea what he's doing until we get a new manager in that's going to play an offensive mentality of football with this team. Nothing's going to change. And I say this all the time. I said it on the Bruised Banana. When you are a manager at one of the big clubs, it does not matter what league you are in, whatever big club you are at, you have to take into consideration the history of the club. Unless Mikel Arteta is going to turn into the second coming of George Graham, defensive football ain't working at Arsenal. This is an open attacking club. This history of this club outside of George Graham is open attacking. Once you do that, when you are able to tap into the club's history, other things go for you as well. Luck. All these top gooners, we're unlucky. Well, guess what? The good teams, when they play to the history of the club, they force their luck, and the luck goes good. How many times did Sir Alex Ferguson force good luck for fucking Manchester United? Everybody used to call the late minutes in the game, the added time, is Fergie time. Why? Because he stuck to the history that Matt Busby and everybody else at Manchester United laid the groundwork for. We're trying to get away from Arsene Wenger. We're trying to get close to George Graham and not even be on George Graham's level. So at the end of the day, the manager is the problem. And as soon as we get rid of him, all issues that we will have will be fixed.
Yeah, listen, everyone always says, I can't remember what the quote was. It was a couple of months back. But I think someone said they prefer this over anything that George Graham's done, including the trophies. How batshit is that? How mad is that? That you've got Arsenal fans that prefer this Arteta team over the last 6 years to George Graham, who won trophies. Dude, that fucking geezer won league title 89, 91. The geezer won 2 domestic cups in 1993. Our last ever League Cup, by the way. Our last ever European Cup in 94. And obviously the FA Cup was part of the 93 double sort of thing. What are we doing here? How mad is it that our fan base prefer this shit? It's all well and good, yeah. If someone said to me, you know what, I love attacking, entertaining football. But if you said to me, Arteta is going to play like George Graham, very defensive, very rigid, very systematic, very defensive. He's going to play it for 6 years. You're going to win 2 league titles, a couple of cups, and maybe you'll won one of them Europa Leagues 3 or 4 years back. I've gone, do you know what? right, it ain't pretty to watch, but I'm going to the stadium for a reason. I'm getting my money's worth. I'm going to Wembley. I'm going wherever the Europa League was held, and I'm seeing my team win trophies. I'm going to the Emirates and seeing us have that fucking silver trophy with a gold crown. I'm seeing a couple of different plaques put around the Emirates because we've won more trophies. We ain't doing none of that. Absolutely nada. And the worry is that this fan base are so sucked into what we're doing at the minute. It's all well and good. It's all gravy. It's all excellent. But we're not winning anything. They're just happy that they can go for a couple of beers and it's, oh, we got Champions League football still. Great. Who cares? Who cares? The league title is what we want. We'd love the Champions League, but we've won the league. We won that in 2004. That was 21 years ago. We know how it feels to win that, so we can miss it. We want that feeling back. We've never had that feeling with the Champions League, and I'd love it, but we want that feeling back to the Premier League.
You got to build. You have to build for the Champions League. There's no club, any club that you want to look at outside of Real Madrid through the first 5 years, you have to build that mentality to get ready to win a Champions League. Other clubs don't have to do that. Jurgen Klopp won it with Liverpool first because that is a part of Liverpool's history. Is the Champions League? Okay, Manchester City. How many fucking years did they fuck up? Actually, the better question is how many years did Pep fuck up trying to chase that Champions League without Messi on his team? And even with the team like Bayern Munich, whose history is very rich in the Champions League, it didn't work. You have to lay the groundwork of winning trophies first before you get there. The big clubs that already have the historical ties to that, it does not matter for them. The history, look at how many times just in the recent memory have we seen Real Madrid win the Champions League and they weren't the best team in the fucking competition.
Yeah.
You could say that 2 out of the 3 Pete that Zidane had, Real Madrid on paper, yeah, they had a great team. How we saw them play should have never been close to winning the Champions League. But because of that mystique, because of the historical ties that Real Madrid have to that trophy, that's why they get there. Same thing with Klopp. Klopp, who had a winning mentality. Chelsea had to build it. Mourinho, look at Mourinho. He had it for 4 years. He won all those trophies, but he built the mentality of winning at Chelsea. And again, same thing. Chelsea, even with Vialli and Zola, they played pragmatic football. They used to play well. Zola would dribble in a counterattack run. Chelsea was never the team that would play possession-based football. And that is why Carlo Ancelotti is an outlier. He's the only coach in Chelsea's history to win but play beautiful football. He's the only one. Everybody else was counterattack. Thomas Tuchel won a fucking Champions League because he got them to play pragmatic football, which is their club's DNA. Again, you get any manager that knows how to play any type of offensive football, you will see the luck and everything else change for Arsenal because we're not getting away from the lineage and the history of our club. And the only way that you can win pragmatically is if you find somebody that can tap into what we did under George Graham. And the likelihood of that is slim to none because all the good ones that are there, they don't want because they're quote unquote dinosaurs. They don't want Conte, even though Conte's won 6 league titles. They don't want Allegri when Allegri's won 6 league titles. Though, if you want to play defensive football or Simeone, those are the masters. So you either go get them or you go get an offensive guy and we get back to playing the true Arsenal football.
Do you know what the excuse though is always? One sec, sorry, dude. Do you know what the excuse is with that? They always go, yeah, but they stay for 2 years and they leave it in a worse state than when they found it. Yeah, but they won 2 trophies.
You can't tell Inter that. How did see? That's the thing. When you say that,
it's a Farmers League.
Yeah, Farmers League, my ass. The Serie A plays better football than the Premier League does with all that robotic
shit now.
I mean, if you look at it, Inter Milan is the perfect thing that you can use to show them that they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They got Simone Inzaghi, who took over from the mentality that was laid by Conte and got an old man's team to the Champions League final 2 times in 3 years. That team had no business being there. The only thing that you could say that's a downfall for Inter was Inzaghi wasn't at the same level domestically as Conte because he had the best team in Italy for 4 years and only won 1 Scudetto. If Conte stays with that team, Inter wins 5 straight. Not even close. Not even close.
Yeah. No, absolute fact. So just before I bring Macy in and we'll carry on with this pivotal weekend and then we'll change it up a little bit, I just want to say, Chris, do you know what? I only cottoned on about a week ago, bruv. Who you are. Honestly, Chris, fucking such poor form because it's McCallum. I thought you was McCallum. I've known you for fucking years. I didn't even realise it. I can't really see the picture from where I am, but I've known you fucking since I was a kid. Bruv, big up, man. I'm so sorry I didn't fucking recognise sooner. Send me an Instagram message and I'll get back to you. Absolute geezer. He's been in my chat for ages. Chat panel. This geezer, I've known him for fucking years and I didn't even fucking realise. What a pleb. What an absolute pleb on me. But big up, Chris, man. I hope you're well. Like I said, send me an Instagram and we'll have a little chat, man. Let me know where you live and we'll go for a beer or something sometime soon. But big up to you, Chris, man. What a geezer. Silly sod. That's on me, man. I'm such a fucking prat sometimes. Macy, look, it's a pivotal weekend again. I just want to get your thoughts on it, man. Big up for jumping on as always. Come on, you know I love it when you jump on. Always put a cheeky little fucking smile on the little boat race of mine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pivotal weekend though. A must-win game, is it not, Mace?
I'm not sure, Aaron, because every game is a pivotal win, and what happens when we come across these pivotal games, we come up short. That's the history of this football club, and the Man City game was more disastrous than the Port Vale game. And when I watched that Man City game, Man City were absolutely like they were cruising by 1-0, and they could have nearly snatched a point away from us if Martinelli hadn't scored that equalizer. But I can't. But when I watched Martinelli's celebration, I was absolutely livid. Like I said to him, "Why are you celebrating? There is only 3 more minutes left. Get the ball and run back to the white dot."
Right.
But what does this motherfucker do? That Sonic the Hedgehog celebrates and does all of this to the fans, like saying, "Oh, look at us, we're a family." Like the absolute mentality of this football club is in the gutter, Aaron. This is pathetic. This is not the football club that I started supporting. The club that I started supporting was the Invincible season, where the legends like Ori, Bergkamp, Vieira, Lundberg, all these legends had mentalities of not celebrating a goal. They would always, whenever it comes to an equalizer, they would get the ball, they would run back to the white dotted line, put the ball down and start the game again. But with these players, all they care about is celebrating and doing all of this hocus pocus of saying, "Oh, look at us, we are a family, trust the process." And like, it's just absolutely just this club is in the gutter, and it's not going to stop until this manager fucks off down the lane, because every time I see him on the touchline jumping around like a jack in the box, like it's just pathetic. Like I keep thinking, like, what is he doing? Like, why is he jumping around? Like, and every time we get an equalizer, the manager just comes out. Like every time we're trying to create something, or the opposition creates something, the manager's always out of his chair. Just sit where you are and whenever something happens, then you can stand up. But every time he stands around, it's just he's just trying to make himself feel nervous inside. It's just not good enough. And people will then come out and say, "Oh, but we beat Port Vale." Of course we're supposed to, but we should be slapping Port Vale. And no disrespect to Port Vale. They just got promoted to League One this season. They're currently 19th in League One, and we're supposed to be slapping them 5-0. But the fact of the matter is that it finished 2-0, and that is just not good enough. We should be slapping them up. And the fact of the matter is that what made it even more worse was when this manager let Bukayo Saka start the whole game from like 60 minutes until subbing him off. Like, I don't know what is this obsession with playing Saka in every single game. We all know that. Yeah, we all know that the League Cup. We all know that the League Cup is an opportunity for the youngsters to give a run out. But why is he playing Saka ahead of Max Staumann? Max Staumann is an absolute baller, and he could offer more than Saka. And listen, it's not a diss at Bukayo Saka. I still think he's a good player, but he needs to be rested. And every time I see him like on the floor, like holding onto his ankle and just like running like this, it makes it even like this is becoming more frightening for us, because if Saka is injured, then who's gonna start in the right wing? Because we already know Madueke is not fit and ready because he's injured. So this manager has no choice but to put in Wari in in the right wing. And listen, we all know this manager doesn't rate Nwari, but now this manager has to start using Ethan Nwari, because this is just like, because he has to start taking things seriously, because Sunday's game is a very crucial game, and we all know our record at St James's Park hasn't been amazing. We've come up short. We've not gone there and put a good performance in. So I'm pretty worried about Sunday at St James's Park. And we all know Newcastle, they're on a bit of a sloppy form as of late, on the back of a huge victory in the League Cup against Luton. They're fired up and ready for this. And I'm a bit worried because look at Newcastle's midfield and look at our midfield. Their midfield consists of Tonali, Joe Linton, and Bruno Guimaraes, and our midfield consists of Declan Rice, Zubimendi, and Mikel Moreno. And listen, I do not want Moreno to start in midfield, because every time I see him in midfield, he always drops another stinker. It's just not good enough, because we need to try something different, because we all know the Rice, Zubimendi, Moreno experiment isn't working. So we have to try using Norgard. And listen, I'm not a big fan of Christian Norgard. I know he's got that El Neni vibe in him, but that's the only way we have. But if I'm Arteta, I would put Norgard in midfield ahead of Rice and Zubimendi, because we all know Moreno is not. Yeah, because I'm just saying, because the reason I would put Norgard is because he can offer that bit of experience. And I'm not a big Norgard fan, but that's the only way to try something. And listen,
would you not go more attacking though, like Mace? Instead of sort of replacing like for like positional wise, would you not sort of
midfield?
So let's bring this. Hold on one sec, and
idea as well. Like, you can try putting Skelly in midfield, but we all know this manager doesn't like when he likes Skelly in midfield, because he favors him at left back, Aaron. So that's the problem with this manager. He doesn't try anything new, because he's always happy with the same thing over and over again, and he hopes that one day one of his best players turns up and creates something for us. And I can guarantee you that when Odegaard comes back into the team and scores against Newcastle, and hopefully it might not happen, but it could, then our fan base will say, "Oh, where's your apologies now? Because you've been saying that Odegaard was crap." Like, this fan base always have an excuse to defend their best player, and if they do say that, "Oh, where's your apologies?" they can all fuck off, because I'm sick of these fan bases. Like, they're just a bunch of hooligan clowns and motherfucker frauds that have no mentality of where this football club should be. We should be fighting for titles and trophies, not fighting for a process or being a family, Aaron, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Look, listen, the lineup's definitely a tricky one. You're speaking facts, Macy. I don't 100% agree with the Nogga thing, but I know where you're going with it. I understand absolutely what you mean there. For me as well, like looking at the lineup, and we'll talk about the lineup, he's going to bottle it. I think we'll all have our own little say on it. I'll just have my say on it. He's going to probably shit the bed again, because he's going to revert to all he knows. He's away from home. So it almost cements that he's going to play a defensive midfield, absolutely 100% for me. I'd love him to change. I'd love him, as Kenny Ken would say, to put his nuts on the table. But we haven't seen it for 6 years, sorry, there or thereabouts. We haven't. So if you was to make a calculated guess, and this is what makes me laugh when the top gooners, they'll hear me say this, and they'll say something like, "Oh, you part of the backroom staff now. You know the lineup, yeah." None of us here in the chat. None of us on YouTube, none of us know what the lineup's going to be. However, what we can do is probably judge based on the 6 previous games, the 6 previous years of these big games of what he's done. And that's what I always say. I use this reference. That's what the bookies do. Yep. Why are bookies billionaires? Because they give you an odd based on statistical facts of the past, and then give you a likelihood of that happening, and then give you a fucking mathematical formula, probably in their side. That's how bookies work. That's how I work. I look at what's happened to gauge what could happen, because essentially none of us fucking know what happened. It's madness how people can't really grasp that concept. If your missus, look, if your missus, say, was to fucking cheat on you, and she went out to a club and she cheated on you, right? And you, for whatever retarded reason, decided to forgive her, yeah? You telling me that every time then she went out, you wouldn't think about that? You wouldn't think about that. You'd forgive her, but you'd think about it. So when everyone says, "Oh, it's a new season, it's only 6 games in," no. You will never forget the past. You will never, ever, ever forget the past, and that's the analogy and the example that I want to bring through. It doesn't matter whether it's a new season or not. What's happened, and we've got a huge bite size of Mikel Arteta now. He's not been here for 6 months. He's been here for 6 years. We can gauge probably accurately the likelihood of what he's going to do in these big games. And it would more lean to a defensive midfield. Now, exactly right. Now, I would love to see an Ethan Nwaneri and a Max Dowman. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
Neither of them are going to happen, by the way.
No chance.
But if you was to predict a lineup with what, you'd have to pick one of them. And for me, I'd like to, the defense and the goalkeeper speaks for itself. Okay, that just is. I would love to see Declan Rice in that 6, holding it on his own, because we've seen him play there. That's his best position, and he can't do 2 men's position, but we can cover a lot of ground and sweep up that ball, make vital interceptions. And when he's playing at that lone 6 at the back, he also can come into the defense. He always comes central and plays part of the defense, almost as like a back 5 as such. And then I would love to see an Eze, but I'd play him on the left, not in the Odegaard position on the right. I'd love to see him on the left because he is naturally more left-sided. I'd love to see Eze on the left 8, and I'd love to see Ethan on the right 8. And then, of course, you probably then say he's not going to play Max Dowman right winger. He'd probably play someone like a Bukayo Saka again. And then, obviously, the left wing would be down to either Martinelli or Trossard, probably Martinelli, and then the striker. Why not do 2 attacking left 8s? If Odegaard was fit, and I'm not saying he's an attacking left 8, but he's bloody better than Mikel Merino. Bloody better than Mikel Merino. Now, I don't like Odegaard or want Odegaard, but the point I'm trying to make is you don't have to have 3 fucking central defensive midfielders. And I always say this phrase before I bring anyone else that wants to jump in on this involved in the lineup. If you want something you've never had, you need to do something you never did. And he's never had great results away from home against the top tier teams, especially his bogey teams. And he's played the same way in every single fucking fixture, and he's not came back with the fucking goods. Maybe it's time to change your ways, Mikel Arteta. But has he got the bollocks to do it? Anyone else can jump in.
I don't think he has, to be honest with you. If you look at the lineup, I just feel as though the fact that he will just stink out the game. He just wants to. If you look at, I think Mikel Arteta's at home thinking to himself, well, the last 2 seasons in the Premier League, I've lost 1-0, 1-0. So surely the best way is for me to stop that from happening by parking the bus. I think he will park the bus at some point. I mean, I have a strange feeling the fact that he will put Odegaard in the team and he will just stink the place out and it will just be boring. And if we do lack creativity, why is Odegaard even going to start? I mean, he doesn't offer anything. I mean, when Odegaard's off the pitch, we play better football. Like, can someone explain to me, Odegaard has never been that sort of player. You can say he's a good player, but people talk about, oh, but look what happened to him in Norway. He got a new haircut. He's going to get new goals and assists. Do you remember that, guys? Odegaard's got a new haircut. 10 goals, 13 assists. He's going to cook. But come on, let's be real, guys. Does anyone think we're going to win it at St. James's Park? I don't think we will.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. Not with three midfielders, the defensive midfielders. We're not winning. We'll lose. I think we'll lose it. But if he brings them 3, starts with them, we're losing straight, because Newcastle are strong at home. They'll beat us. And also the fact that he was joking about, oh, I might get the handbrake up. He had the nerve to joke about it. Media's taking the mick out of him, right? They're taking the piss out of him, and this guy at the end thinking he's funny, right? If you look at Arne Slot, he hates media. He hates them. If you look at his answers, short and sweet and to the point. And that's it. He doesn't give anything away. He doesn't joke with them. He doesn't have no banter, nothing. Yeah, this guy Arteta, he's won nothing, and he's acting like he's like he's acting like he's got three Premier Leagues. You know what I mean? 2 Champions Leagues. The way he talks to the media, what are you doing? You're a clown. You're just embarrassing the whole fan base. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing the fan base. Yeah, no wonder everyone takes the mick out at us. Because look at him, the guy's joking around, and he hasn't won anything. If he won something, they'll say, "Yeah, you know what? Hats off to you. You know what? You won something. Yeah, you can joke around as much as you want. Yeah, you're the man. You're the boss. Yeah, you're not a boss. Yeah, and this guy, he's gonna bottle it. I just got that feeling he's gonna bottle it. He's gonna go with the 3 defensive midfielders, and then I can't. If we lose, it's over. Leagues, forget the league, it's done. Forget the Champions League, forget the Premier League. We'll be lucky to get Carabao. That's how I see it. If he does that again, forget it. Until this guy leaves, we're not going to win anything. Until this guy leaves, we're not winning anything. That's the truth. We need a proper manager with someone who's got a bit of courage, someone who can, you know what, he's not afraid. This guy's a coward, man. He's gone way towards the other side. 22, 23, we were playing some excellent football. But now look at him. He's bottled it. What can you say?
Yeah. Now, facts. Just before I move it on, I did want to just read this out. I think I'm a sucker for punishment. Is that what it is? Because there's this gentleman that writes in the chat constantly that for some reason I really like. He's a sound geezer, but at the same time he's a fucking prick. And his name is Suge, and he's an absolute fucking geezer. And look what he's got to say for dear old Adam Talks Arsenal. Big up the pre-puberty fluffer, man with a goat facial hair, Adam. Thank you very much. Sit that with your lovely, fully grown beard, you wanker. And he's saying, Adam, Gianni, Macy, Quaja, Pano, and chat, hit the likes and subscribe. What an absolute geezer it is. And thank you very much, Suge, our absolute brother from down under. One of my favorite people in the chat. I hope you're doing well.
That Suge guy sounds like an absolute gentleman. Fuck.
Well, I mean, yeah. If you ever bump into him, tell him, I really like him. He's sound he is. I really appreciate him being in the chat.
I mean, if I say anything nice about you, there's something wrong. Come on now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, mate. I'll be ringing Australia authorities, mate, just being like, is this fucking fridge freezer all right, man? What's going on here? Suge, talk to me, my friend. Talk to me. What you saying about Arsenal? I don't know how much of the show you've been listening to. We're sort of covering the lineup, the pivotal weekend. Jump in where you want, man.
I was to say, I came in at the lineup conversation. All I would say is we all know that we're going to play basically 8 defensive-minded midfielders. Or players. We're going to play the 3 defensive midfielders because they are, I guess, the wall of North London. Forget the Chinese wall. They're the wall of fucking North London. They are. Fuck that. And then we're going to start. Whoever he wants in the front, it's not going to make any difference. Because why would he change his tactics and change his players right now? It makes no sense for him to do it.
Yep.
He's going to revert to what he knows, Suge, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen nothing for the last 6 years, 6.5 years, whatever it is. Yeah. Why change now?
Tick tock, he's almost out.
Yeah.
Because it is just jokes, basically. At this point, this is why Arsenal fans are the laughingstock of not only England, but the entire world. Because of the way we play, our manager, and certain sections of our fan base.
We're a global joke, Suge.
Yep.
Oh, 100%. We're a joke in Australia, so we're the furthest away we can get from the Premier League, and we're a joke out here. So go figure.
It's embarrassing. It's frustrating. And this is what I always say about Mikel Arteta. And I love coining this phrase. He either takes too long to learn or he doesn't learn at all. 5-6 years into this process, we can't afford this manager to still be making the same mistakes. Not just the same mistake once or twice, but over the course of a 38-game season, over the course of a 50-game season, times 6. We just can't afford that. When's it going to be enough? When's it going to just end? You know, you're sort of sitting there and thinking, I said this about the Liverpool game, right, at Anfield, and I thought, do you know what? After all the signings that had happened, the addition of Berta and a few things sort of changing there, you know, the attacking players that were signed, I thought this is a great audition for Mikel Arteta to show not only just the Arsenal fans, but to show the players that he signed, the existing players, not only that, but Slot, Guardiola, the Liverpool and Manchester City fan base, their players, that Arsenal are here to win this Premier League this season. They could have gone there and attacked it. And do you know what? We lost playing defensively. If we'd have lost playing attackively, I'd have gone, do you know what? We went at Liverpool. And do you know what? We just lost today. We just lost to a free kick. But we give them a go from the first minute. That's the attitude I'd have had. I'd have gone, sometimes it just happens. But we didn't. We shit the bed and that happened. And then I thought, all right, cool. Well, 2-3 games later, 2 match days later, you play Manchester City at home. Off the back of a 5-1 win. Different circumstances, of course, Suj. Different circumstances, different phase of the season, different everything. But you've got now a chance to right that wrong v Liverpool. You're at home. You're playing a weaker opponent than Liverpool away. I think that's very fair to say. And then he starts with exactly the same fucking lineup, throwing away the first 45 minutes. And you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, if he's not done that in the previous 5 seasons or 6 seasons, and now he's coming into this season, and he's already at match day 6 or 7, whatever it is, playing Newcastle away, and he's already played defensively with 3 defensive midfielders against Manchester City and Liverpool, in which he's only gained 1 point from. Why would you think he's going to attack this game? Maybe he will. None of us have got a crystal ball. But if you was to put your mortgage on it, you'd be saying 3 central defensive midfielders and Marino, wouldn't you, Suze?
Yep. And okay, the other issue that I do have, okay, how many games did we play last season? So including the league, Champions League, FA, Carabao, roughly 55, 60, roughly?
Yeah, 12 Champions League games, I think.
12 Champions League
and 14 Champions League games. 14, sorry, wouldn't it? 14 Champions League games, so 38, that's
52.
52 plus Carling Cup games, 1, 2, probably about 60, knocking on the 60.
Yeah, roughly around 60.
Yeah.
Does it explain to you why we have this many injuries to our key players? Saka looks gone. Rice needs a break. All right. Okay, I'm not an Odegaard fan, but he's out, never coming back again. Saka's gone, basically. You can't keep playing players this injured for up to 60 games a season.
Yep.
It's all catching up with him, and it's all catching up with him.
You'd add in internationals in between that.
Yep.
But what was the point? What was the point of bringing Saka on for Portwell? What was the point of bringing half the players on who are regular first 11 players in the Premier League or the Champions League? What was the point of bringing them on against Portwell? There was no point. And everyone talks about our squad depth. Then play our squad. Bring a couple of players from our under 21s and under 19s. That our recent history has shown that our youth system is one of the best in the country.
Yeah, we've had a lot of players come through. Yeah,
bring in the youth system. If we lose, okay, we experimented. We played a different team. But
do you know what?
Let's do something different.
If we didn't have this youth system coming through, like you quite rightly say, all the way from when the Sakas and the Emil Smith-Rowe started coming through, if Arteta wasn't here for that, he wouldn't be here. Because let's face it, Saka and Emil Smith-Rowe saved him his job. 100%.
Oh, 100%. Correct.
And obviously the sales of Eurowobis,
and
the
Obama
sales of the Willocks, the South. I mean, maybe a YB might not have been there, but definitely the Willocks. And then, of course, you know, you're looking at the other sales like the Ballagans, and then all the other players, the Eddie Nketiahs, and all the players that are still playing. Yeah, exactly, and all the players that are coming through now. Without them players, last year, I said this to one of my mates: if we didn't have MLS and Ethan Nwaneri coming through, we'd have really had a stinker last season.
Yep.
Really had a stinker. Them two again probably helped get us second and definitely helped get us in that semi-final of the Champions League. 100%. Without them, we'd have had a real... Well, we had a so-so season anyway because we've done fuck all. But it'd have looked less pretty to the top Gooners. We wouldn't have finished second. We wouldn't have got to the semi-final of the Champions League. No way. It's lucky. Luckiest fucker on the planet.
I saw some stats. Since Arteta's been here, he's actually brought in 15 players from our academy. All right? How many of those 15 players are still here? What, 3 or 4?
Saka.
No, Saka did not come through Arteta, did he?
Under Arteta. No,
under
Emery
Arteta.
gave him his debut.
No,
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of youth that's on the team right now.
But didn't he make his debut against Emery? He made his debut under Unai Emery in 18-19.
Yeah.
I mean, who?
Nwaneri,
Dalman.
Dalman. Fuck, that might be the only 3.
You had Nathan Butler Oyodeji.
Yeah, isn't he good?
I mean, did Heaven ever make a senior appearance? I don't think.
I think it might only be 3.
Hey,
I think he made against Bolton last season.
Hey,
I think he might have played against Bolton.
No, Eddie Nketiah, Wenger brought through, didn't he?
Hey, Aaron, do you
Josh
remember
Nichols.
John Jules?
Tyrese John Jules, yeah, I remember him a little while ago.
Was
yeah,
one
Tyrese
of
John
these
Jules.
guys that Arteta never gave an opportunity to.
Yeah, we didn't give loads of opportunities to
No.
loads of it, but yeah, under his sort of regime, giving debuts to him, there probably isn't many.
Correct, and I'm including like taking the young players to Americas or whatever. 15 players. What, a handful still at the club now? That's our future.
Mm-hmm.
And getting nothing for them.
Max Dalman, MLS, and of course, you got Ethan Nwaneri, our Arsenal's future. They need to be nurtured properly. You know, and you quite rightly say, in that Luton Port Vale game, I was quite disappointed that Saka started. I think if he was to come on and get some minutes in his legs, it should have been for Max Dalman on this 75th, 80th minute. Let Max Dalman start. Let him showcase what he can do. He deserves it. Not because he's the next best thing. He's earned it. Max Dalman has earned minutes. And this is what I sort of said as well for the draw. So, obviously, of course, we won and we drew Brighton at home. If Max Dalman isn't good enough in Mikel Arteta's eyes to start against Port Vale, he's not good enough to start against Brighton in that cup. And that's basically essentially what we've sort of come to, is opportunities that he's given to the youngsters. It just isn't good enough because if you're not giving them to League One or League Two teams, you're not giving them against Premier League teams, are you? It's all well and good him playing I gave Ethan Nwaneri his debut at 15. I gave Max Dalman his debut at 15. That was just to show the narrative of he gives youngsters an opportunity. He done the same thing, like I said, with Ethan Nwaneri. Look what he done last season. It took Havertz to be injured. It took Saka to be injured. It took basically the old forward line to be injured, Odegaard to be injured before Ethan Nwaneri got minutes. And then when he actually started coming on and looking good and making things happen and even scoring and assisting, he cut him out. No, he cut him out towards the end of it. But then they'll go, oh, yeah, but he made 30-odd appearances last season. How many minutes did he play in the 30-odd appearances? Yeah, exactly. There you'll find the true reason why Mikel Arteta doesn't trust the kids. It's all well and good coming on for 2 minutes. What can you do in 2 minutes? You know, largely over the course of it. Manchester United will say we can do a lot. 1999 Champions League final in 2 minutes. Different thing. What we're saying is he doesn't give these kids a chance to flourish. Max Dalman, go leave Arsenal Football Club. I don't want you to. But if you want to be the top player in your position for years to come, you ain't doing it under Mikel Arteta, my boy. Neither are you, Ethan. Look what he's already done to MLS.
Yeah.
He said, oh, yeah, I see him playing as a left-back instantaneously. That's because all your left-backs were injured and you didn't like Kieran Tierney. Now that Calafiori, his boy, is playing and he's fit, what's happened to MLS? Not even a fucking.
No, he said
murmur.
MLS is a midfielder in the press conference.
Yeah.
He said he was a
Now,
midfielder.
now he's a midfielder. Yeah.
Can I just add, and I want to, don't take this the wrong way, anybody, but I want to just say this like this. As an American, and as how we watch our sports teams and everything else, Arteta's an idiot in general, and I also blame the board, but I also blame the fans. Okay, and I'm going to give you the analogy. I'm here in Chicago. The Chicago Bears are now in their 40th anniversary this year of the last time they won the Super Bowl. Guess what? It's because the fans have allowed mediocrity to take over their fucking team and not hold the ownership accountable. These cheap motherfuckers, the McCaskies that own the Bears, are the third most profitable team in the NFL, but they will not spend any money to get a team that will actually win. Okay? So the problem is, at the end of the day, is they don't need to, because the fans still dress up like Mike Ditka, who was the coach of the 85 Bears. They still dress up like they're the asshole coach from 40 fucking years ago, and still go into every season with the blinders on, thinking that, oh, it's a new season, we're going to win because we're Arsenal. No. If you know that this team is shit, or that this team does not have the tools to actually get the fucking job done, whether it's players or coaches or whatever, you have to call it out. It's the same problem that we got over here with certain ownership. So at the end of the day, the problem is that the fan base has allowed this mediocrity to settle in. Again, like I said, the last week's stream, and I'm not going to say the guy's name because I'm not giving him any clout, but the fact that you'd wanted to take a non-proven manager who has no CV, who's the manager of Bournemouth, over a proven manager who has 4 league titles under his belt, shows that you are a part of the fucking problem with the mediocrity, because it's the same thing around and around and around and around. We're going to get rid of Arteta because he hasn't won, but now we're going to bring in another fucking novice manager and give him another however many hundreds of millions to build his squad now, because he's going to need his squad because this isn't his starting 11. It's the same shit. Why are we falling for this? And again, American fans know better because we got the same problems with a lot of our sports. But this is fan base as general. You have to see all of these things to why that this is the problem with the club. We can say whatever we want about the football, and we all know there's plenty wrong with Arteta as the manager. But at the same time, if we see that the ownership is not going to take into account how to properly run the team, then that is the bigger overarching issue rather than the players. You could do whatever you want. The problem is that it's not going to change because the ownership doesn't care. In Arsenal's situation, it's the board, because it's amazing how Tim Lewis and all these board members are now starting to leave because they got a for real sporting director whose whole job is not going to be about the bottom line anymore. It's going to be about the trophies. You know, we can all say whatever we want about the Kroenkes. Here's the Kroenkes history. They took over the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets were a playoff team. They were pretenders. They were never the champions. Once it got serious under the Kroenkes, they won a fucking championship. They bought the St. Louis Rams, ran the team into the ground so that they could get the team out of St. Louis, turn it around at this. Now that it's in LA, this team is a possible threat for a Super Bowl every other year. The same thing happened with the Colorado Avalanche. The same thing has happened for all their sports teams. Now that the board is getting kicked out, this should be the forward progression, because to me, I'm sorry, £1 billion, £1 billion wins you a championship. I don't care how shit of a coach you are. The problem is that the board was playing bullshit with this whole team. If an ownership gives you up that much money, a competent sporting director should get you to win.
Do you know what, as well? People always sort of forget to add this little part of logic.
Real quick, Aaron.
Go on, jump
the
in.
guy Boston in the chat, I like how you keep changing the freaking narrative. Like I said, if you're a for real top gooner and you're going to go along with these guys, let's bet some money on it. It's funny how the top gooners all back their guy until money comes into it, because the money makes sure that the bullshit walks away. So if you ain't going to bet on your team, you're not a real believer in the manager. Let's just call it for what it is.
Yeah. Boy, that's facts, man. Yeah, absolute facts. Yeah, and that's it. Boston, no one's having a double dig at you, but it's funny that when people have these opinions, as soon as they start putting something on the line, their opinions go. You know what I mean? They start having yesterday's curry sliding down the old fucking calves. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the old backside starts fucking flapping, doesn't it? Listen, man, I wanted to say as well, big up to Craig, man, my brother. I hope Ronnie and Connor are all good, man. Big up to you, big up the missus, big up the kids as well, man. Always love, man. One of my best pals. Right there. What a geezer. He doesn't talk to me like fucking Suge does. I like Craig. Not like Suge. Not like...
Listen, you use a crusty white socket to stop complaining. Come on now, Jesus.
This is why we love you, Suge. This is why we love
Suge is
you.
the fucking
You know, he's
Suge
a
is the
fucking
fucking man.
absolute geezer, our Suge, isn't he? He's a fucking absolute fridge freezer. I've forgotten my point because you had to get yours out, Johnny. Thank you very much for that, you bastard. No, listen, it's not my show; it's everyone else's, and I'm going to bring in Mus. How you doing, brother? You've been on the show a couple of times. What have you got to say on the Arsenal Newcastle thing? You're on mute, my friend.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron, and thanks the panel. Pick up the panel. How you guys doing? Everybody's...
How are we doing?
As everybody knows, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I'm through the blood. I'm connected to the blood. All I can tell you.
Man United?
I'm not a... Yeah, I'm a United fan, but my parents are Arsenal fan. As I said before, my mom is an Arsenal fan. So I got connection through blood right there. So yeah, I have a few questions for you guys. Have you guys watched Newcastle versus Barcelona?
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys watched it?
Who won?
Yeah.
Before Newcastle are actually all right.
Newcastle
Before the game, the narrative was, oh, Newcastle is gonna dominate Barcelona in the middle. They're gonna do all this. They got Tonali, they got Bruno Guimaraes and all that. And Barcelona, you know, everybody knows Barcelona. They got no physicality as Newcastle. But after the game, everybody was talking about different. Bedri have win 10 out of 7 his duels. It's not all about physicality, by the way. It's all about here. You don't associate Bedri as a physical player. You don't. And he win 10 out of 7 his duels. What are you gonna say that? It's not about physicality. And this is the reason I brought this thing. Arsenal. I heard a lot of Arsenal, they keep saying we need to stick with same midfielder because of Newcastle, like Moreno and then Rice and same midfielder you've been playing for you guys. A lot of Arsenal say we need those midfielders this game. You guys don't need it. You don't need it. You don't need no physicality. As long as you can able to do your game, as long as you can able how you've been playing, I don't think you guys need to change it. I think Moreno, you guys are most profiling Moreno. Moreno is mostly attacking midfielder. If you look at it when he play for Spain, he's mostly playing. Bedri play more box to box. He play more attacking. Moreno, he mostly actually is attacking midfielder. He's good crashing the box. If you're gonna play Moreno, you should play him in 10. You should not play him in 8 or any kind of thing because and then he's not good at that. And another thing, Zubomendi. I don't know if you guys watch Zubomendi in Real Sociedad. Defensively, he's really bad. He's good at passing, all that, but when it comes defensively, he's not good. I don't know if you guys are aware of him. He is not good defensively. He cost you the free kick against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Who committed the foul?
Zubomendi.
Zubomendi defensively, his defensive awareness. He got no defensive awareness.
Nope.
What we require from that position, in it, like you're saying about Zubomendi, you're 100%. We all called it. We all said as soon as he gets to that goal line and he has to play with his back to goal, Partey was so good at receiving the ball in tight spaces, being able to spin someone, wriggle out of tight scenarios, and progress the ball. Zubomendi, not so good at that, and we've seen that so far. It's a small bite size, but he's not that.
For me, I'll put Zubomendi bench. Rice, I will put Rice. What was the guy that you bought him? What is his name?
Norgard.
That you bought him from Norgard, Rice, and I bought this guy, whatever his name, Eze. For me, because you cannot put somebody midfielders cannot move the ball. Creative. There's not any creativity right there. So I will put Norgard instead. If you're not gonna put what they call it, this guy Moreno, if you're not gonna put attacking midfielder, then he's useless. Absolutely useless. If you're gonna you can put Eze as number 10. But I don't think your coach is gonna do that. He's kind of a coward, you know. He's really a coward. I don't think he's gonna do that. He's gonna stick with same midfielder. And he's been talking his press conference so many. Oh my God, what's wrong with this guy? I have no idea. Who he been talking about? He's saying, oh, everybody likes how he's playing. Who liked it? Who's been lying to him? I just don't get it. Who's been Arteta lying to him? Not definitely Arsenal fan, not you guys, but most Arsenal fans are tired right now. Even top gunners are questioning him now. I seen in AFTV, I've been watching, they question him, bro. One more season. If Arteta don't do this season, even top gunners, they're gonna be out. Trust me. Nothing lasts longer because Arsenal is a big team. You cannot be accepting mediocre. And it seems like Arsenal have been accepting mediocre for so long. If this guy don't win this season, Aaron, all the panel people guarantee, I swear he's gonna feel the pressure that he never felt it before. Because you cannot be just playing. Okay, I understand Arteta bought Arsenal their respect. Arsenal is had to be right now. People respect Arsenal. I understand that part. He bought Arsenal stability, but for how long? We need to win. At the end of the day, you can't be. Look at example Hansi Flick. He went to Barcelona, was terrible. Barcelona was bad, and Barcelona have not even spent anything. They have not spent nothing. Huh? Even Arsenal fan, ask some Arsenal fan. Oh, he failed in national team. Right. Why would you just decide a manager based of international? Okay, then what they call it, Germany coach. Everybody read Canyon. He's struggling. Is he a bad coach? No. Hansi Flick. He's a top manager. Look at what he did to Barcelona. And then the problem, they had a financial problems. They have not, they only spent, last season, they only spent one player. And look at it.
Look what we did at Bayern. Look what we did at Bayern.
See, I don't understand why you guys not use your academy players. Arsenal really got really good players, by the way. Really good players. You just trust them. Put them there. If you're good enough, you're old enough. That's how I believe. You know, you've been in the squad, you can play. Look at it, baby. Look at it, Yamil Yamal. He was but there, Yamil, he started playing at the age of 16 or 7. No, actually, he was 15. His first season, he was 15 years old. I don't think that if you are talent, you are talent. If you look at all the Barcelona teams now, 6 of players, they're from their academy. From you're good, you're good. Yeah.
We can look close to home as well in a similar position. We can say the same with Frances Fabregas and Jack Wilshere, all products of 15, 16-year-olds who were just, all right, they were also a product of scenario and circumstance because had they have came, well, Cesc Fabregas kind of nearly did, but Vieira leaving for Juventus kind of opened the door for him. And that's why I sort of say sometimes it is circumstance. Whereas this Arsenal crop haven't got any of the world-class players that that current squad had. So you sort of look at it and think, do you know what? We are at the minute primed to have these youngsters flourish and come through, to be able to have that nourishment in terms of a right winger. Saka's injured, Madueke's now gone, or Saka's not quite at its best, or is to get a couple of minutes rather than just be expected to be flogged again for 90 minutes. There are positions available in the right 8, whilst Odegaard is also injured, and at the right wing for these two players, i.e. Ethan Waneri and Max Downman, to come in and show what they're worth, to flourish, to do a Jack Wilshere and Fabregas, to do a Lamine Yamal, to do a Pedri. And that's what Barcelona and Flick have done. They trusted their youth system. They trusted their process. The difference is they were allowed to flourish in that scenario, and they had a proper manager to be able to guide them to do it. This manager, no. The point I was going to make earlier as well was this is what people forget. Mikel Arteta spent all this money, and they always come back to the FA Cup. The FA Cup they don't give credit for, by the way, because they say it has to be a major. But when we say you ain't won nothing, they quickly remind us that we've won an FA Cup. By the way, he won that FA Cup only signing Cedric Suarez for free and loaning in Patrick Murray. Just settle that there. That's all he spent. Loan fee on Murray and a free loan for Cedric. So since he actually had his first full summer and started spending Arsenal's money, he hasn't fucking won anything. Absolutely nothing. And he actually won that FA Cup by being pragmatic, by the way. By being pragmatic. And what's the season that all us Arsenal fans refer to when we're looking at Arsenal in terms of bringing at least somewhat of a smile on our face? We all go back to the 22-23 season, because even though we bottled it and we are critical because we did bottle it, the last time we were actually any good and was somewhat excited about Arsenal Football Club was that season. He's abandoned all of that. The last time we were good in the league, exciting to watch, and was actually 8 points clear, not 8 points behind, he abandoned it. The last time he had tactics that won us an FA Cup, he abandoned it. Why are we abandoning the two good things that Mikel Arteta has actually been able to prove that he's done over somewhat of a sustainable period? Now with none of that. He got his defence sorted because that's what he bottled. He didn't have the defence when we had that 22-23 season. Now he's got the defence.
Aaron, I got a question for you though. Now we all know Nagelsmann from Germany. You know his contract will be expired next year after the World Cup. So if he's available, I'm asking you about all of you guys. Would you guys take Nagelsmann to Arsenal?
I would, but he'd be further down the list.
Nagelsmann is farther down the list, you said?
He's farther down the list because Ancelotti's a free agent after Brazil, and I'm taking Ancelotti over anybody who's
I don't think Arsenal board will get Ancelotti. It's not realistic. For me, Ancelotti is not realistic for Arsenal because he's totally playing different football than what you got. I was saying Nagelsmann.
That's what we need. Nagelsmann doesn't play defensive, brother. When he was at Bayern Munich and he switched the formation to where everybody was flexible to be able to play. That defense was very suspect. The problem was,
but you have a good defense though. Arsenal have a good defense though right now.
Correct, but the problem is we don't need a new tactician. We need a man manager. We need somebody who's going to get the players lifted to be playing a different brand of football, which is why I don't want Nagelsmann in as the coach. If he's what's available, I would take him over other coaches that have no history of winning.
How about Fabregas?
No, he hasn't done anything.
Still do new.
Too new.
Yeah.
Too new.
Yeah.
There's different. If I'm going to take somebody who's newer, I'm taking Glasner because Glasner has already shown that he can take a team in at the smaller end of a league and actually play well with what he did at Frankfurt and what he's doing at Crystal Palace. That's the best that I'm going to go as far as somebody who's not proven. The guys we need to go for guys who are proven that have already won. Yeah. If we got to go after Ancelotti, I'm taking Ancelotti because one, Ancelotti comes in, changes. We're not playing as defensive. We know the defense is good. We need to go about going forward. The same thing that would happen with Real Madrid. Look when he inherited Real Madrid from Jose Mourinho. Mourinho had the greatest counterattack of all time, had Real Madrid playing defensive. Ancelotti comes in, they play beautiful football. They go on to win the Decima, the Champions League. So for me, I want somebody who's a man manager more than a tactician at this point.
And more experience too as well, right?
Experience is that, but also understanding and working with the players better gets better out of it. Again, the biggest thing with Arteta to show that he's not a man manager, just look at the situation with Aubameyang. Aubameyang was late to practice because he was checking on his mother who had cancer. Anybody who gets that pissed off at your captain for that situation, you're not a man manager, and that's going to be an aspect of the game that's going to hurt you as an overall manager.
I was listening to his interview. I was listening to Aubameyang interview. He said the only person I have a problem with, Arteta. Yep. He said only Arteta. He didn't even mention Arsenal anything. He said only Arteta.
Brother, imagine you're a player and the manager tells you need to be on time, and you tell them, brother, my mother is sick with breast cancer. She's going through chemotherapy, and the coach then goes, "Oh, fuck your mother," basically, in not the same words, but basically says, "Fuck your mother. You need to be here." Nobody's listening to that.
Johnny, do you know why he's done that? This is the only reason. None of us can prove it, but we all fucking know that what I'm about to say is absolutely factual. We all know it. What he's done is he knew that he's going to have a sustained period as Arsenal manager where he can bring his own players in. He already had quite a youngish sort of setup anyway. He was signing young players at the time Aubameyang left. He's done that to scare all the young crop coming in, all the young players that he signed, to basically say, look what I'm going to do to our captain, our best player, our goal scorer. Our highest earner, look what I'm going to do to him. So all of you youngsters, all of you new signings, you will fall in line. So he's used Aubameyang as a scapegoat for power over the rest of his squad. Dirty bastard, mate. That's why
this is the same Aubameyang that won Arteta the FA Cup. He's the one that made Arteta win that FA Cup. He was the reason why we won the FA Cup.
And also, this is the same
Aubameyang from where we were. He carried us from where we were in a difficult position. He still helped us.
This is another thing that I like about Aubameyang. This is the guy that won the Golden Boot alongside Mohamed Salah and Harry Kane, and that was the same guy that fired us to a Europa League final against Valencia. So that We wouldn't even be in the final if it wasn't for Aubameyang. And a lot of our fans will say, "Oh, but he wasn't. Oh, but where was he in the final?" That is where, like, even though Aubameyang didn't perform well in the final, we still have to give him credit for what he's done for us. The Golden Boot, 50 goals that he scored. The
fastest ever player to 50 goals as well for Arsenal, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah, those are the biggest. This is what he has done for us. And the fact of the matter is that this manager has used every single amount of his power to throw him out of the football club. It's disgusting. And now he's relying on the German donkey and the Bolivian dwarf.
Hold on. What did you just say?
The
German donkey. I love playing that. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I know, Aaron. Yeah.
Before I jump off, I just want to say one thing.
Yeah, go on.
The only reason that we've changed from 22-23 is, you know, when you're in your younger days, you go out, you have a good time, right? Arteta in 22-23 went out, got some random chick pregnant, got an STD. He's changed his entire game plan. So now he's wearing 15,
carry on. Yeah.
He's wearing 15 condoms. And that's how we're playing right now.
Oh,
they're just melting every single time he puts one on.
Correct. And that's basically how we're playing. He's basically got he's got an STD and made some random chick pregnant, and now he can't go back to that.
Hey, I had a question, right?
Suge, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hopefully, when I get reviewed as a channel, they don't watch that 10 seconds.
And on that note, it's been a pleasure, gents.
Big up, Suge.
Big up.
We love Suge, man. Take care, my friend. Thank you for giving me time. How you doing, my brother?
Care, mate. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Comrade, I'll get your thing in a second, but I just want to say hello to my geezer down here, Maxwell. How you doing, bro? What you got to say, man?
Hey, man, I'm coolin', man. Coolin' it, chilling, right in DC, America. You already know.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I'm a little bit away from the nation capital, but yeah, man. Anyways, man, this guy, man, Arteta, man. I've never seen somebody in professional sports be in a position like this. I'll even break it down even simpler. My brother's an Arsenal fan. I mess with Arsenal. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a Liverpool fan. I don't got no problem with you guys.
Yeah.
Because that's my brother's team. I used to always make fun of them. But it's like, man, any other coach, you guys have a set team, dog. I'm not even gonna cap. Like, you have a great team. Position, player for player. It's just this guy, man. It's like, no, I just don't like. I've never seen somebody in any I watch basketball, NFL, all that. Like,
facts.
You come to a team like before when Wenger left, right? The day he left, was Arsenal. You think I think so as well. You think Arsenal is considered like a top 10 club of all time, like a European club? It would be, obviously, right?
100%.
Knocking on the door, yeah.
No, you are. You are.
No, you're considered a top 10. I'm thinking like probably top 8, top 7, but like top 10 for sure.
Yep.
And you're gonna get that type of manager coach? Because the thing is in football, you're the coach and the manager. So you're playing two positions. You're doing two things. You're recruiting and you're coaching the players.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're gonna give that position for Arsenal Football Club to some guy that has no experience being a head coach or a manager.
Mm-hmm. The only big team in America that's done that is the Lakers, and that's only because of LeBron with the coach. That's it.
Because LeBron is the coach. That's all. That's the anomaly. That's the anomaly. That's like one in a billion.
That's the only one. You go through. That's
the only one. That's the only one.
I was just saying the same thing. You're not going to get a novice.
That's like Messi and Inter Miami. That's like whatever Ronaldo and whatever Saudi League team he plays for. That's what it is, because those are the goals. They're old and they're like 40. But like you put this guy in position. Okay, first year, then got your FA Cup, Emery scores, all good. Second year, 8th, boom. Second year, you were in 3rd. Late April, you were in 3rd. No, we're going for 3rd. Fuck Chelsea, we're better than Chelsea.
Yep.
You bottle top 4. We're gonna let that slide. We're gonna let that rock. Let that slide. Boom, new season. Jesus, Zinchenko. Who else I got that 2022 season? Fabio Vieira, the supposedly attacking midfielder. Boom. Damn. Nice.
Tavares, them sort of players.
Tavares, nice football, fluid football. Martinelli 15, Emil Smith Rowe, double digits GNA. Saka got like 20 GNA. Flying. 8-point lead. Yep. And then Saka misses penalties at West Ham. Drew another game. Lost another game. Whatever. Okay. That's year 3.5, 3 or 4.
That was straight after that West Ham game you referenced. We was 2-0 up against you boys.
Yep.
Yeah. Liverpool was our next game.
Yeah, that was our terrible season. We fucked up the whole entire season. We bottled it. We still had Henderson and Fabinho in midfield.
Yeah, he had Fabinho as well.
That shit was disgusting.
Fabinho fell off a cliff. Fabinho was awesome, and then all of a sudden he was absolute dog.
Yeah, I've never seen a doubt, but you can never doubt Brazilians once they reach 30. That's a whole nother story.
The other way, isn't it?
But you can't help it if you're being played out of position. That's the problem. Martinelli, when he was good before that one-off year, he was a striker. Emery brought him in.
That's what I think he's good at. I think Martinelli is like a striker or like a second. Like he'll be good in like if Martinelli played for Napoli instead of Højlund, he'll bag 20 goals.
No. Don't send that bum to my team. Don't send that bum to my team. Don't send that bum to my team. Don't send that bum to my team.
Are you a Napoli man?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
He's a Napoli fan.
I'll drop naps. My Italian team is I like Juve.
Nah, kick him off the stream. Fuck that team.
That's why I keep updated with it. That's why I watch the Serie A. I watch the Juve.
To be fair, my Italian team's Roma.
Okay, so let me.
I'm only joking. I'm only fucking with you. Let me
continue. Let me continue. 23-24 season start. I spent 23-24 season start. Y'all spent 100 M's. 100 M's on some rice. Deckers. 100 M's.
And to play him out of position for the following 2 seasons.
For no reason. He's a 6. I don't give a fuck if he wants to be an 8. He's a 6.
Maxwell, do you know what? Yeah, this is how I rationalise the Declan Rice position. If you put him in the 6, he's in the top 5 number 6s in the world. If you put him in the left 8, he's not even in the top 10 left 8s in the world.
He's not even better than Pedri or Vitinho. Nowhere near. He's not.
But
even...
it's a 6 though. It's a defensive.
No, the thing is, Declan can only play the 8. Declan can only play the 8 if there's another 6 behind him covering. He cannot, like, if Declan played with like a prime Jorginho, he will look terrible with him too, because he has to do in order for him to move forward, somebody has to do the same dirty work he does. And he's not that, like, bro, he's not no line breaking passer. Let's be real, bro. No. He's not like like you feel me?
Do you know what? I can think what Conrad. Big up to Conrad as well. He's always in the fucking chat, man. Big up. And he's not an Arsenal fan either. But big up, man. This is what I like, man. This channel. This is why I like it, man. Because you know what? I get quite a lot of fans from other thing, and that's why I like you coming on as well, Maxwell. By the way, it doesn't have to be an Arsenal fan to come on. Anyone can come on. Like we had Moose earlier, as a Manchester United fan, As long as you can talk ball, I absolutely fucking love it. But Conrad here is saying Arteta is scared of a team that can't get 3 players into our starting 11. I mean, that is an absolute fucking fact. Your starting 11.
Yo, I had a
Go there
question.
and play ball and don't worry about brute force. It ain't rugby. And that you're absolute facts, mate. Arteta is literally, he's got all the fucking, I can't think who said this, so I'm stealing this off of someone, and I'm probably not even going to get it right, but he's got all the swag of fucking Mourinho with the CV of Big Sam. I can't think who said it. It might have been Curtis Shaw.
Lee.
I think he might have said, or was it Lee? Yeah, I know
Lee
one of the
too.
top is. So it's not mine. I wanted to make sure everyone knew that it weren't mine. But whoever coined that is fucking absolutely on point. If it's Lee Gunner, big up to El Capitan. It's absolute facts. He's got the fucking bollocks of Marino and the CV of Big Sam. It's ridiculous. And yeah, what you're saying is turned into rugby now. It's not even good football. Do you know how painful it is to go to Arsenal, spend 1,500 quid a season for 23 games, and then have to travel and then pay for the extra games? It costs me about 3-4 grand a year, and that's cheap. That's cheap because I don't go to a lot of away games. When I start doing Champions League away games, you're adding everything in there. It's thousands of pounds to watch this shit. So if you're looking at it from a business perspective, Comrade, the return is fucking absolutely nothing. And what we get is rugby football, Comrade. It's fucking ridiculous, mate. Absolutely ridiculous. And you're right. What we're saying is as well, you go there and you're worrying about brute force. It's bullshit. We've got the defense. The defense looks after itself. Now attack. Roll the fucking dice. This is your 7th season.
Yep.
If you're not going to roll the dice now on your last hurrah, then when you're going to fucking do it? No, you won't do it because you're going to die on your fucking sword. That's what you will do. And who
suffers? Panicked. He's suffering a heart attack. He's at home. He's like panicking. He's looking at St. James's Park. He's like, I don't know what to do. I am panicked. I have no idea what to do. He just doesn't know what to do. I always see him doing this. So what does that mean? He's clueless. So surely he has to be held accountable, but no, not from the top gooners.
Quaja, but it also look at since we have a Liverpool fan on here, it goes back to what I said again. You have to play to the club's history. You have to, when you are one of the big teams, you have to play to that club's history. Look at Liverpool. Yes, they got the Champions League, and yes, they made 2 Champions League finals under Rafa Benitez. But Rafa Benitez was the same thing in the league as Arteta. He was an almost man. Now, granted, I don't think Liverpool's a lot of people almost because of Torres getting hurt. But that team overall, how many times did they run it close? But it was always something stupid that Rafa Benitez did that cost them the title. And because they played more defensive. Same thing with I'm forgetting his name. The guy.
Do you remember just quickly, Gianni, to interrupt you? I'm so sorry there. Do you remember when Fergie proper rattled Rafa Benitez? I can't think what season it was. But Liverpool were absolutely dick in the league. They were in control of it. I can't remember what Fergie said.
I think it was. Was it about when Rafa Benitez was doing things about Sir Alex Ferguson and then he rattled him?
He violated.
Yes.
There was a spat, wasn't it?
Yes.
And he bottled it.
But that's also my point, is Liverpool's history as well is open attacking football, just like Arsenal and Manchester United. They got Rafa Benitez in there who tried to dog it out, doing good defensively. He never got over the line to win the league. He was able to get the Champions League on the greatest comeback in the history of the Champions League. And then when he went back defensive again, he lost it to Milan in the repeat. But then you see the difference. Over all the years, Jurgen Klopp comes in. Jurgen Klopp brings back the mentality of open attacking football. We are Liverpool. We're playing this brand of football, and you see what happens. Liverpool goes on to win every single trophy under the sun that they could under Jurgen Klopp. Then you bring in Arne Slot, who's continuing it, and they're continuing to play open attacking football. They don't even look that good this year, and they're undefeated. So what happens when they all start firing on all cylinders?
Exactly. I was just about to say.
That's the point to why we need to go back to our core, which is Arsenal. Nobody can say anything about this. And again, as an outsider and an Italian fan first, we always used to laugh at the Premier League, that the Premier League, once the old Liverpool of the 70s and 80s went away, that their football was not that good. That's what you talk to Spanish people, you talk to Italian people. That's how they always looked at the Premier League. The 90s and the 2000s turned everything around from the last 5 years of within the 80s, and the talent went skyrocketing as far as the overall league. But we all knew that when it came the closest to playing beautiful football, it was Arsenal. We all knew that Arsenal was the team in England that was changing everybody's heads at the time of playing the beautiful football. That is the legacy of this club, which is the reason why we need to go back to it. This pragmatic shit ain't working. Go back to the history of the club and watch how fast our fortunes change. It's been tried and proven with any other team you can think of as far as the big teams.
It goes back to my point though, Johnny, again, man. Like, it's been tried and proven the last 2 seasons, and for the first few games of this season, what he's doing isn't working, and he's doing the same thing. Einstein, come on, man. Expecting different results by doing the same fucking thing over and over again. That's insanity, bro. That's insanity.
I just think he just wants to do it his way by force.
His way ain't working, bruv. That's what I'm saying. And this is the problem with Arsenal fans, Maxwell, though, bruv. Like, who suffers? Who suffers with that arrogance, naivety, and just pure fucking delusion that Mikel Arteta has? It's easy for him to sit in his mansion on 15.2 million a year. Not so easy for me paying my fucking mortgage, raising 2 kids, supporting my whole entire fucking family, going at work fucking 9 till XYZ, and then paying for this shit. Not so easy for me. We expect for him to bring us results. We expect for him, if he's going to be here, learn from your fucking mistakes. And we've got countless examples from numerous different facets of his managerial career. It isn't just his on-field decisions. It isn't just his substitutions. It isn't just his man management. It isn't his squad setup, his squad purchasing, his squad building. It isn't just how he makes his substitutions, what time. It isn't every single thing that he does. He either doesn't learn or takes way too long to learn. And who is it? And I say this all the time. Who is it at the detriment of? Because it ain't the detriment of Kai Havertz on 280k a week, filtered all the way down to the youngsters coming through. It ain't to the detriment of the fucking bankers they hire as fucking directors. It ain't to the detriment of the manager or any of his staff. It's to the detriment of COYG. It's to the detriment of Macy. It's to the detriment of me, this world-class chat. Anyone that passionately follows Arsenal but might support another team, like my brother Gianni. Loves Napoli. He's a Napoli first. He's Italian first, but has got a fucking major soft spot for Arsenal. Arsenal's his team. You know, you've got Arsenal in your family, Maxwell. It's at the detriment of us. The fucking the right end. And without us, and this is what pisses me off with businesses, with anything like that. Without us, football is 22 fucking losers playing fucking football in shorts, kicking a sphere around. That's what it is. Without us, without you, world-class chat, without anyone watching, anyone on this panel, it is just 22 fucking knobheads kicking a sphere around. That's all it is. And without us, that's it. That's all it is. It's a kick around in the park on a Sunday. We're so undervalued and underappreciated. And when we have an opinions like we do and just go, do you know what? You're not patient enough. Well, okay, I've waited 21 years. 21 years cannot be accounted for Mikel Arteta, but fucking 25% of that can. 25% of that can. And that's the only fucking percentage that I'm whinging about. I'm not blaming Mikel Arteta for Wenger or Emery or anyone else that fucking preceded their managers, Bruce Rioch, George Graham. No, I'm not blaming them. I'm blaming and holding Mikel Arteta accountable from the 22nd of December 2019 to the 26th of September 2025. And I feel like I've got a valid fucking opinion to say that for when you factor in all the variables, i.e., this is his 7th season as Arsenal manager, spent over £1 billion fucking pound, and my return as a paying season ticket holder, and your return as paying for Sky Sports, paying for American channels, paying this and that, or blah, is fucking nothing. Zero. That's what I've got a problem with. Major problem with that. Major fucking problem with that. Johnny, big up. We've got a question from our fucking geezer, JCG, Joseph Connor Golden, the fucking
every time.
The OG of my chat. He's one of the first ever people that fucking subbed to me. That's why the love for fucking JCG is fucking proper. Big up Arsenal, big up Aaron, sorry, and the panel. Gianni, who's worse in midfield for you, Marino or Odegaard? I think I know what you're gonna say.
They're both fucking shit. They're both.
If you had a gun to your head and had to pick one to start at Newcastle, who would it be? Shot in the head, yeah.
I gotta
just take the bullet.
I mean, because even with what my man was saying about about Moreno playing as attacking midfielder. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's the better of the two, because the problem is the manager's going to hold him back. I mean, Marino did the same thing that we see Odegaard. Marino had runs. Marino could hit Gyökeres on the run. He decides to stop the ball, turn around, and pass it backwards. So, I mean, again, both of them are shit. I mean, as far as potential, I mean, if you could get Odegaard back playing the way he played in the 22-23 season, then I'm going to say Odegaard, because Marino's never had a season like that, scoring 15 goals and grabbing, 10, 11 assists that season as well. So, I mean, I would, if we're going off of potential, then I'm going to be forced to say Odegaard. But again, it's because the manager, both of them are shit. Look here. How does Mikel Moreno turn into a world-class midfielder with Spain, but he comes to Arsenal and we're fucking shit?
I think it's down to the manager's style of football, because the Spain manager plays better football than Lego Head.
Yeah, exactly.
Facts.
Exactly.
Compost as well. I had to jump this out here. Compost hit the nail on the head with the point that I was just making, bruv. Pity you've got to waste another season until this clan is booted out. And that adds to our frustration, because we don't know what the season's going to end up like. We definitely looks like we ain't going to win the Premier League, and it's the 26th of fucking September. But we don't know about the other competitions. We don't know about
the are going to call us overreacting. Don't forget. Don't worry. They're going to call you overreacting.
Facts, bruv. But when they say overreacting, they only refer to the current season or situation. They'll go, "You're only 5 or 6 games in. We're not even in October yet." Well, we're not even in October yet, and we could be 8 points behind Liverpool. Why don't you think about that? Why don't they think about things like that? Why don't they think about the fact that you've got to
get a result in Newcastle?
Look,
I think if you was to start Rice, if Odegaard is healthy, Odegaard as an 8, Rice, Odegaard as a Gyökeres, Saka, and Madueke.
Madueke's out. He's hurt.
Madueke's injured.
Madueke's out for 6 to 8 weeks with an injury. So
I
would just put Martinelli there.
And you know what?
I just don't get why you don't try just bench Zubamendi and just put Rice in the 6 and try Rice, Odegaard, and Eze in the midfield. I just don't get. I think that midfield could work. To me, Odegaard's an 8.
I disagree. I think we're using Zubamendi and Rice in the wrong way, because you can use them both as 6s and do the proper thing. If you're going to have Calafiore,
Rice pushes up too much.
I understand that, but the problem is how you lay the team out. He pushes up too much because he's playing a 4-3-3.
It should be a pivot.
He's exactly, because what you could do is Rice could clean up, win the ball. You do what he's very good at, is being physical, winning aerial duels, and winning the ball. Lay it back to Zubamendi as soon as you get, and Zubamendi gets the offense going and still maintains the playmaker.
4-2-3-1 double pivot.
Or you can
Eze has a 10, but why? What's wrong with playing? I don't get. Is he like allergic to Eze playing a 10? Like, what's wrong with that?
Because Eze's a threat to his player. Eze's a threat to his player. If Eze starts, we all know if Eze starts as
if Eze starts and he gets a goal,
Odegaard will never play for this team again. Odegaard will never play for this team again.
You're right. Because if Eze scores or gets assists, it's over with. It's done. It's Dunsky. It's over with.
Yep.
All right.
Don't forget against Bilbao. Against Bilbao, he told Eze to track back. Why are you in that position?
No, he did. I see that clip.
Yeah, he did. He says,
because the problem is,
and he blamed him for the loss at Liverpool. He blamed Eze for not finishing that chance. Let's all remember this. He blamed Eze.
Never say anything about Havertz.
What about the 74,000 chances Havertz missed?
Yeah,
and he blaming
this is the
Havertz?
problem, Aaron. This is the problem.
He's a good player, man. Walker better said he's his goat, man. He's a good player, no. You already know, man. Havertz is a great guy.
Go on, Macy, go.
And this is the problem, Aaron, because Arteta doesn't favor Gyökeres and Eze, because all he's waiting for the opportunity for Kai Havertz to come back into the team. And then once 29 is back and ready, he will take Gyökeres out of the squad, put him in the bench, and let 29 have the freedom to play up front whenever he wants to, because this manager does not rate Gyökeres. I'm telling you, he does not
Šeško, bro. Šeško.
Yeah, he did want Sesko because there was a bit of a power rift
Yeah.
between him and
Yeah.
Bertha because they were like in this
Benjamin
position of whether
Tesco.
because they were in some kind of power rift because Bertha wanted Gyökeres, Arteta wanted Sesko, but Bertha won the battle, so Arteta has to persist with it. But we all know this manager is not going to persist with Gyökeres. He's going to persist with either 29 or Mikel Moreno up front, or Gabriel Jesus, but not Victor Gyökeres.
No, he'll push Gyökeres out to the left wing, the same thing that he did with Aubameyang. It'll be the same
You might as
thing.
well let him track back. Yes,
Do we
tell him
really-
to track back.
After what he did, first of all, the fact that you took that you chose Lacazette over Aubameyang going forward shows you have no idea what the fuck you're doing as a manager. First and
It's
foremost.
because attitude
But
problems,
secondly-
because his attitude stank and that he had disciplinary issues. He was
No,
late
I
in
don't
the
think
London
he's-
derby.
It's not that he had the attitude; he didn't know how to deal with his character.
Correct.
He's not good enough.
Correct.
He's not.
I mean,
a
win
manager.
FA Cup.
Yeah, we know. Listen, Aubameyang gets a bad rap because he never played for the big teams outside of the half year that he was with
He could
Barcelona.
have stayed with Barcelona when he went over there.
Aubameyang is top 10 best strikers of the last decade of strikers that we've seen. The man has scored over
Yep.
300
Facts.
fucking goals. The man has scored over 300 fucking goals. You don't get rid of somebody like that. The problem is the manager is a fucking shithead. The manager has no idea what he's doing. You took Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who scored over, I think it's over 125 goals for Dortmund in 4 or 5 years. You move him from his best position to left wing to then pick a striker like Lacazette, who at that time Lacazette could hit a barn door.
And he
He couldn't do anything.
The last 2 years he was with Arsenal, I don't even think he hit 10 goals in the league for Arsenal. But
He had 3 in his last season.
Exactly. So
Madness.
the thing is, at the end of the day, is this manager doesn't know what he's talking about. And quickly, because you guys brought him up, all of us on this panel all said Sesko was shit when he was still with Leipzig when they were trying to get 90 fucking.
Well, I never rated him at all. I never rated
Sesko's doing exactly what we all said was going to happen when he comes into the Premier League, in that he was going to be shit, and that everybody was overhyping him because they're top gooners that like to suck off Arteta. Okay, that's the only reason why they were hyping him up, because it's a fallacy that he was good, number one, but it's amazing how none of the top gooners are talking about Sesko at Manchester United. Now they won't bring him up at all because they know that they've already been exposed for not knowing anything about that fucking guy as a player, because he's playing just as shit at United as he did with Leipzig. And with
13 league goals in 33 games.
No, hey.
He got 21 goals in 2 seasons, Quaja. 21 goals in two full Bundesligas is what he scored. Openda.
Marmoush managed to score more than him. Marmoush scored more than
go
him.
see Sesko shot on target. Go see Sesko shot on target.
15 goals less. The second season, he scored 24 goals the first season. He scored 9 goals the second season with Sesko and still outscored him over 2 years. He's shit.
Sesko's bum ass should have 28 goals. He ruined. If he scored half the goals he was supposed to score, Xavi Simons would have 35 assists a season.
Yep.
Literally, I watched Leipzig. I used to bet on Xavi Simons. Used to put the ball on a platter for him.
Yep.
He used to just break it. If Sesko should have that year where he had, what was the numbers he had? 13 goals. He should have had 29 or 30.
Yep.
Xavi Simons would have 40 assists that year.
Yep.
He went crazy. I watched Leipzig. He went band for band with Bayern Munich and Leverkusen. That guy's a great player. But damn, man, listen, I have one question for Arsenal. What is you, my boy right here up top, what do you want your starting lineup to be? Especially in the midfield.
Me?
Yeah. Do you know? Let's look, because we're going to wrap up very, very, very soon. Just the midfield. I want the midfield three. We go to Quaja, then we're going to go clockwise around. Your midfield three to start against Newcastle.
I would rather. I think, to be honest with you, I'd drop Zubimendi. I'm going to start Norgard and Rice, the double pivot, and put Eze in the 10.
That's not bad.
I just
What
feel as
about
though
you,
that if you
Gianni?
look
Oh,
at,
sorry, go on. Sorry, carry on.
I just feel as though for Zubimendi, right? When he faces his own goal, even Lee mentioned it out that he's a liability facing his own goal. So you might as well just give
100%.
Norgard a chance. And everyone was like, "Oh, he's good at this and that." Zubimendi for me is just getting. I think he's overrated for me. I think he's so overrated that the top Gooners just overhype him. Like he's not Party, bro. He's never been an upgrade on Party. He's just a weaker version of Party.
He's a system
getting
player,
weaker.
and this ain't his
I
system.
agree.
I
So
see,
that's my
Gianni.
midfield.
I
No,
would
big
still
up,
I
Roger.
would still pick Zubimendi because I'm not taking Norgard. I'm switching the formation to a 4-2-3-1. I am putting Zubimendi and Rice as a 6-6 pivot, where Zubimendi can stay off to the side. Rice can do the dirty work of turning and passing out with back facing towards the midfield and going to win the ball. All I need Zubimendi is to keep the offense moving and going forward.
Be that next pass and tie it in.
Correct. I would like Eze. Honestly, this is going to sound crazy, but let me just explain. I personally I would play a 4-2-3-1, but I am not having the wingers play as touchline wingers. I'm having all three of them play as rotating 10s. I want them to be able to have the ability to go to, if they feel that they can switch and play better on the right side, they go to the right side. They're not stuck to one area. So for me, I would like to see Eze on the left, Trossard as the secondary striker or number 10, and on the right, Ethan Nwaneri. And then the first substitute, if Trossard's out, you move Eze to the 10 and you put Max Dowman on either wing. That's the way I would go about it.
Yeah. No, facts, man. I'm very, very, very similar.
And
very
especially
well,
because
copy and paste,
Trossard,
actually.
as sad as it is, Trossard is our best pure finisher behind Gyökeres. He's our best pure finisher behind Gyökeres. He doesn't have
crazy.
He doesn't have the pace to finish. He doesn't have the pace anymore up and down the wing. But
don't give him that option, innit? Yeah.
But at least if you have Trossard towards the box, he's a finisher. He will score goals. He's done it since he came to Arsenal. So for me, you put people in their best positions. And the same thing, if I got to force Saka, because I don't want Saka playing because I think he's still nursing an injury. Now, if Saka's there and he wasn't hurt, I'm putting Saka as the 10 and telling him, start doing what you want to do. You want
I was about to
he
say
hasn't
that.
got the obligation of running back and forward.
Correct.
I was going to say that. I think Saka should start playing. I think he can, man.
As a 10, 100%. 100%.
No, I think he can play centrally, man. I really think he has the physicality, the speed. He got the technique. He can do it, man. That's like I used to not like rate him a couple years ago because I'm like, what's so special about it? Like, he ain't really special. But the basics he does, the basic things, he's elite at the basics.
So while you've got the mic, what's your midfield three, and then we'll finish on Macy. What's your midfield Arsenal three that you think Arsenal should go with? Yeah,
my midfield three for Arsenal is Odegaard going to be healthy?
He's a doubt, but no one knows with Mikel Arteta. I wouldn't play him because it's.
I would start single pivot Rice and Odegaard and Eze. In the front three, is Saka not playing? Yeah. No, instead of Dalman, Ethan Nwaneri, Gyökeres, and then we give Martinelli another shout right there.
I like your lineup. If I saw that, I wouldn't moan.
You know what makes sense? Because if Odegaard's on Martinelli's side, he's used to that, so he can outlet him. And then Nwaneri and Eze can swap as the game goes. You know what I mean? So Nwaneri can hop in the 10, and Eze can go on the right, and then whatever happens between them and Gyökeres, that little triangle passing pattern.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. I wouldn't be upset if he lined up with that, not whatsoever. That's fair.
Wouldn't be bad if they lined up with Rice, Odegaard, and Eze.
I'll be okay with that. Like, I'll be fine with that as long as he just. It's silly because, in essence, I wouldn't be fine with that because I don't like Odegaard. However, I don't like Odegaard either.
Mendy
and Rice.
Anything but them three. See, I want to see something different. And if it means giving a bit of Eze and Odegaard in that attacking three with Rice at that single pivot, then yeah, like fine. Just show me something different. If we lose the game, at least I can be honest and man enough to go, look, I'm calling for Mikel Arteta to make a change. He's made a drastic change to that midfield today. Yep. We didn't get the result, but at least I will be man enough and big enough to go, at least he's tried something new.
What if I make it more simpler for you? Odegaard is going to play the Fabio Ruiz role. Declan Rice is going to play the João Neves role. And Eze is going to play the Vitinha role.
I mean, if they played like them three in the Champions League last
year.
No,
what if they play like them? Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, anything but Rice.
We don't have a good enough manager for that.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, absolutely not.
We don't have a good enough manager.
Shout out to y'all guys, man. Subscribe to Aaron's Talk Arsenal, man. Straight up, man.
Big up, brother, man. Big up, brother. I appreciate it, and it's nice to have another fan on. It's nice to have another fan on, man. And you've spoke really, really fucking well. And you're welcome on any call-in show, Maxwell. If you've got the time and the links out there, click on it, man, and you'll be put on straight away, brother. Come on, man. You're a geezer. I like that. Do you know what I mean? You come on, you talk fucking sense. Everyone's having a laugh. That's what I do the call-in for. Doesn't matter where you are, where you're from, what you fucking look like. It's just as long as you can talk a bit of football, that's all I give a fuck about, mate. And you can clearly do that. Macy, what do you reckon that midfield is going to be? What's your predictions, bro? Not your predictions? Sorry, that's wrong. What would you like to see? Not predictions. What would you like to see?
This is what my midfield would be, and I don't know if Arteta is going to start it or not. I would put Zubimendi, Rice, and fingers crossed if. So, Skelly goes in midfield.
So you're moving away from the Norgard? You said earlier, didn't you, Norgard?
Yeah, because I think the Norgard one is a bit tricky. So, I think maybe Skelly should go in midfield because I've seen I've seen how he plays in midfield in the academy. So, if I'm Arteta, if I'm managing Arsenal, I would put Skelly in midfield. But we all know Mikel Arteta doesn't like that idea because he wants to do things his own way. So, I mean, like, that's my point of view.
Yeah. Yeah. No, fair dues. No, listen, everyone's raised some really good points. Essentially, everyone's made a massive agreement and we don't want to see what we've been seeing. We want to see something new. There's a couple of different formations here, a couple of different players, but everyone said something different. And that, to me, tells me across the board from a Liverpool fan, from a Napoli fan, from Arsenal fans, from everything, we just want to see something different. Roll the dice, do something different, show something different. But listen, we're going to wrap up. Please, everyone, we're going to raid BBK, a.k.a. Taron. That geezer, everyone in the chat, please, the link's already set up. Every one of you, please go over there. That guy deserves to probably be on more subs than he is. He's a geezer. He's a gentleman. Probably one of the nicest fuckers anyone will ever meet. And do you know what? He knows his ball. He's a testament to all the wankers that say Yanks don't know about football. I tell you what, listen to him for a couple of minutes. Just like you're listening to Maxwell, just like you listen to Gianni. Listen to them for a couple of minutes. And if you think they don't know football, then maybe you're just a spastic. So listen, everyone, go over, please, and give BBK the fucking love and support that geezer deserves. He's a fridge freezer. We've got a lot of time
Community Shields, don't forget.
Yeah.
Forgot about Community Shields, mate.
Fuck the dinner plate. Listen, we will end there. Thank you very much to the panel. Thank you so much for the panel. For the panel that came, the panel that's still here. Quaja, thank you very much. Gianni, thank you very much. Macy, thank you very much. Maxwell, thank you very much. Doc, who came on earlier. We had Suj on. We had Musak come on for a little bit, and I think I'm missing one person. That was on for a little bit. GD, I think, whatever his name, GD2.
And Dr.
He came on for a little bit. What a geezer. Big up to every single one of them. Most importantly, the world-class chat. Thank you to the mods. Thank you to the regulars. Thank you to the new ones. Thank you to people that super chatted. Thank you very much that's still here. All of you, enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Spend it watching BBK Sports. We are out of here. Mikel Arteta out.